So here we go. We are in Sky Bet League One. Who would have thought it 3 or 4 seasons ago? Or is this our fifth? Is this our 5th or 6th season? Anyway, it doesn't matter because we are now in Sky Bet League One. A journey that, let's be honest, probably none of us were expecting that we were going to be making at the start of last season. But we're here. We're here to try and make a president of ourselves. Who knows? Maybe we can go back to back to back. So let me bring you to the players that came in to start with. We had a lot of that money to spend, right? And because of how financial fair play works in these leagues, even though our wage budget was higher, was at sort of 56, 57 grand, we wouldn't actually be able to spend any of that or spend all of it. There's some exceptions and some players are exempt and homegrown players, etc. But we haven't needed to spend it all. So what I've done is I've moved some of that over into a transfer budget, which has then allowed us to spend, we haven't spent 500 grand on him. It's basically an initial amount up front with then some form of installments. But as you can see, we bring in Malachi Hardy at centre back. Was a player, if you remember rightly, we was looking at a year or 2 ago maybe, and it was between him and Declan Skara, but we went for Declan Skara in the end, I think, if I remember rightly. But anyway, we've brought him in as a centre back. Declan Skara and Darnell Johnson, they've kind of reached their limit in which of where they're not going to progress any further. They're not going to grow anymore. They're going to still be able to do a job probably this season. But at the end of next season, it's probably going to be that one of them move on. To be fair, Darnell Johnson may even be looking to retire in the coming seasons as he's not the youngest of the spring chickens that we've got. But he comes in 21 years old, 3-star ability, 5-star potential. Currently comes in at a decent Sky Bet League One rating. So not a bad addition to the club. And like I said, bring them in. I think it was 150 grand up front. And then the rest of it makes up to the 500,000. So that gives you an idea of who come in. I've just moved it on to last season's because he was actually brought in before the transfer window sort of ticked over. But then let me show you who's come in from this season. As you can see, there's quite a few people that have been brought into the club. Some of these were just trials, so they're not actually in the club, as you can see, for example, on that Daniel Pike. So I'll just show you the main ones that have actually joined. So we've got Bruno Numbasi, who's come in at right back, a Cameroon international, 22 years old. Again, a good Sky Bet League One player, close to full potential. But remember, that right back position was a position that we've not really had an out-and-out sort of taker or an out-and-out right back spot for a good couple of seasons now. Obviously, we've got Pennington, Pendleton and Briggs who can all play there, but Briggs probably more so better as a natural centre-back, especially in this league. Pendleton is there just for backup, and Pennington has obviously left the club. But that gives you an idea. He comes in, like I said, a natural right back, gives us a little bit more solidity. So we've got 2 good new defenders that have been brought into the squad. The other players that have come in, we've got Thomas Woodward. This is probably more of a future investment. He's currently an enterprise national level, could be a leading Sky Bet League One player. You know, this is more thinking further forward. Could be someone that we may loan out if we have got enough depth. Let him develop a little bit, maybe flip him for a little bit of money. He's coming on a free. Alternatively, he may do the job and actually we might go, he's going to have a good handful of games with us. We've also got Jari Jones that's come in. Jari Jones, again, coming in as a free agent. Probably looking maybe currently, but also in the future. 2.5-star ability with 3.5-star potential. Good current Sky Bet League 2. Good potential to be a Sky Bet League One player. Again, can play in both wing roles, just like we saw from the other guy as well. So gives you an idea of a little bit of depth that we've brought in there. And then we've also brought in Jacob Cook. He's come in as a little bit more coverage for that centre mid role because, of course, don't forget Hayden Murray-Holmes left. McEachran also retired, so we did lose 2 of our centre midfielders that could play in them positions. So he comes in, he's a natural at defensive midfield or midfield. Again, not necessarily someone who's going to just jump straight into the first team because we didn't necessarily need that, but also potentially good enough to come in and do a job as and when, but can develop. And again, potentially there may be some money in him in the future. And then other than that, there isn't really anyone else that we've brought in to the club. It's pretty much similar to what we had set up last time. Now, Am I happy about that? Not specifically, but I am happy with the strength that we've brought into the club. I think I would have liked to have found a goalkeeper, but every goalkeeper that we looked at or every goalkeeper that we found either wanted extreme amounts of money, or alternatively, there was so much competition for the goalkeeper that we just were unable to bring them into the club and they agreed to go elsewhere. So it does mean James Wright will be starting in goal still for us. Decent Sky Bet League 2, so he has gone up, he has improved. He could become a good Sky Bet League 1 player. So hopefully he will carry on developing with us and carry on moving forward. Other than that, we've obviously still got Darnell Johnson, as I said. He's 30 years old now, decent Sky Bet League 2 player. In terms of obviously the players that are already here, I'll just give you an idea. Ishmael, Sky Bet League 2 player. Zach Schweib, again, Sky Bet League 2. So we've not got a bad squad. You know, we've got some good players, some of which are sprinkling in terms of good Sky Bet League 1 or average Sky Bet League 1, which is absolutely fine. And then we've got a couple that are sort of flirting around being League 2, potentially the lower end of the Sky Bet League 1. And that's fine for us, you know. That's exactly what we want. We want to have that mix in terms of the quality and in terms of obviously the squad. But I've just clicked through there. What will most likely be our starting 11 for the first game. Our first game up is actually against Bristol Rovers this time round. And of course, we have still got Josh Lakatabia, who... he's probably one of the better centre-backs that we've got, right? But I just don't want to risk taking that defence and really completely demolishing it from what it was set up last season. So Johnson will start first couple of games, then we'll bring Josh in, and then we'll see, obviously, where we're playing from there. Because if you have a look, put him in there, the defence doesn't look too shabby. And also the rest of the team, pretty solid, if you ask me. Not that Darnell Johnson really makes that much weaker. In terms of staff and staff ins and outs, again, there has been some new additions that have come into the squad, and I will show you them. So staff transfer activity, of course, it's not going to show us. Sports Interactive, why does that not show me who I've brought in or brought out? Absolutely fine though, because I'll just show you manually. We brought in some new coaches. I mean, you're not really going to be that bothered about this anyway, are you? But we brought in a set piece coach, as everyone's been screaming at me to do so, and I've done it. He comes in as a good level. We've also brought in Jonathan Woodgate, so a blast from the past in terms of our scouts, in terms of our coaching staff. So you know we've got some experience there, which is good. Jonathan's stats, I mean, they're all right. They're better than what we had in terms of average and reasonables. One or two other coaches that have come in. But one of the ones I wanted to show you probably the most is in our recruitment team. And we've got good old Paul Scholes as our chief scout here at Oxford City now. He's got good player ability and good player potential. He was better than the guy we had. And of course, he's an absolute icon of the game. So why wouldn't we want Paul Scholes leading our recruitment drive here at Oxford City? But other than that, nothing else has really changed. We've just got one or two other scouts that have come in. Joshua Field, again, as you can see, he's come in and he's been new as well, which has helped us branch our reach of players that we can see. But we haven't brought too many players in because we've spent a fair amount of money on those players that we have brought in, and also a fair amount on their wages, the ones that have come in as well. Kind of regret giving them $4,500 really a week, to be honest. Now I probably could have negotiated that better, looking at the average wage across the squad. But anyway, that's where we end up in terms of the league table and what we are, say, predicted to finish. Let me grab that for you here. Of course, where do we click to find this now? I mean, it was there just a second ago. You're probably screaming at the screen for me to click it. Here we go. We'll go through it this way. Calendar, Sky Bet League 1, Sky Bet League 1, and then predicted table. We are predicted to finish 23rd. So the media are completely writing us off. But as usual, the media have been wrong about us in the past, and they're going to be wrong about us this year as well. I can sense it. You would have noticed as well, we haven't got a single loan in yet. So that's more of a tactical choice. I wanted to get my players in, then pick out loans that we can go for, loans that are really going to hopefully affect the squad. And of course, the longer you leave it, the less wage budget they ask for. So you know, that helps us massively as well. But without further ado, I don't know why this guy's even in my squad. It's not as if I've not got enough players, so I'm not sure why he's there. But anyway, we'll just ignore him. So we're going to have a little bit of a tinker in midfield. I think I'm going to go for a flat three. I'm not going to play a centre attacking midfielder this time round, but what I am going to do in possession, I'm going to have Harris and Gromick move into sort of a more centre mid role out of position. I'm going to have Gromick drop a little bit deep and play alongside Schweib, with Harris then pressing out. Other than that, it's pretty similar to what we're used to here now at Oxford City, which is good. It means the players can pretty much keep buying into it. We've not changed the core spine of this too much, and I'm hoping that's going to have an impact on the pitch. But let's get into the team talk. Let's get our first game of Sky Bet League One underway and see if we can go out there and get them all important first 3 points on the board. So here we go. The team sheets are in for our first Sky Bet League One match. We've got James Wright in goal, Bruno Nambazi, Darnell Johnson, Malachi Hardy and Cameron Ishmael making up the defence. We've got Zach Schweib, Victor Gromick and Luke Harris making up them three in midfield, with the width coming from Isaac Holland and Francis Ukakarano. And then of course we've got Joe Hugill leading the line on the bench. Pretty much makes itself. Probably should have looked at the bench more, because I've got a feeling that we don't have a single centre mid on the bench. Maybe I have, maybe I haven't. Silly past me. Okay, I'm going to put on there, our home form is important. Like we say at the start of every single season, we want to make MG Group an absolute fortress, the MG Group Stadium. I don't like what they've done here. They've changed this and I hate that. Absolutely hate that with the stripes. It just doesn't look very good with the numbers, does it? But yeah, we want to make sure that the MG Group Stadium becomes an absolute fortress, very much like last time. All the seasons throughout, we've been very, very solid at home. I mean, we almost went 1-0 down at home within the first minute of game. But we want to become solid. We still want to keep that defensive record and that defensive solidity that we've had in the past. And then we build on that with goals, hopefully still from Hugill, smashing them in. Francis supporting him as well. And I'm looking at Holland to have a big season this season. He wasn't really too involved in the goals last year. Hopefully he can have a little bit more goal contributions this time round. But so far, pretty much a nothing game so far, but only a minute in. Build-up play here from Bristol. They put the ball in. We don't go for it. Holland clears it. Luckily, he didn't give away a penalty. I thought that's what it was glitching for us to see at that point, but they take a long-range effort from outside the box and it just goes over the crossbar. I'm going to encourage the boys. I mean, it seems to be all Bristol City Rovers at the moment. Bristol City Rovers, is that it? Or Bristol Rovers? I think it's just Bristol Rovers. Holland here, as we were talking about him, but he just pulls up and does nothing with it. What are you just stopping for? Johnson comes across, wins the header, but puts it straight back to them. And again, luckily for us, it doesn't look like their strikers have got their shooting boots on this afternoon. Gonna change Holland into a winger rather than a wide forward. We obviously have Francis on an inside forward. I don't necessarily want to not have that much width, so I'm going to change him back to a winger. Zach Schweib here into Harris. Nambasi. We're looking for some big things from Nambasi as well. Remember, he's one of our highest paid players at the squad here. Hugill just not linking up with Holland very well. If that was them last season, when they were on form, that would have been a goal. Gromick putting his boot in, doesn't do nothing with it. It goes straight to the goalkeeper though from the shot. Can't complain. Long goal kick downfield. Hugill's not even going to try and jump for it. And then the highlight ends. Still 0-0. 11 minutes played. That's not good. Nambasi's picked up an injury. I mean, he's only just been starting playing for us. Let's not get injured and get out all the way, shall we? I mean, it's not come up that he's injured, but he was down on the pitch. We had to get some medical team on for him. We've got Kevin Owens here, running down the wing, crosses it across. We just need to stay compact, and I mean, they are being very delicate. And there we go, Kevin Owens scores. With a pile bomb and puts it into the bottom corner. A WWE reference there for any of you WWE fans, but that's not good. Bristol Rovers are also not dibbed to finish very high in the table. So, I mean, if we can't beat them, or if we can't beat these, shall we say, I'm not sure how we're gonna perform this season. We know this is going to be a very tough season. This is probably going to be the toughest season and the toughest challenge that we've got with Oxford. Should we really be in Sky Bet League 2 this season? As in, did we come up probably a bit too quick for our own liking? Most probably. But when you're riding that wave of momentum, you know, you're going to do it. Holland here. Francis Okawanu was smashing them in left, right and centre. Remember, in the opening game of last season, he scored a hat-trick. Oh, a loose ball from them. Hugill. Goalkeeper saves it. So far, our two prolific scorers from last season, both of our chances that you would argue that they should have done better with. And so far, they haven't. So we're not really getting the chances that we want to. So we're going to go work the ball into the box. Let's try and maybe go a little bit more of a standard passing style as well. We're dominating on possession. We're doing fine possession-wise, but we're just not really getting our shots away. We've only had 6 shots, one of which is on target, so it's not ideal. 1 minute before the end of the first half. Let's not go 2-0 down. And Wright brings out and catches the ball. That might be a position that we do really look to get a loan in, goalkeeper potentially. If we're starting to really leak at the back, I mean, maybe we look at getting another centre-back in, because if we're going to defend like that, Malachi Hardy is not putting himself in glory on his first game. He's just absolutely been turned then. He's not even chased him. Have a look here. Him. What's he doing? Just get goal side. Keep goal side of your man. 2-0 down. 47 minutes played. First half is over. I'm going to say you've been absolutely terrible so far. And I'm not going to hold back. I think what I'm going to do as well, Ishmael's having a poor game. We don't have any other left back, and that's something for us to consider. France is having a poor game. Hugo's having a poor game. We are not having the best of runs here. I'm going to put Francis up top. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. But I am going to, what I might do is push Harris up. We need to get a little bit more momentum and a little bit more control of the ball further forward. So let's put Harris in his actual natural position. Advanced playmaker. Let's see if he can start unlocking the doors. We need a few keys and a few locks here, boys and girls. 50 minutes played, 2-0 down. Kevin Owens getting both. Holland here with the ball in. Hugo's there. Again, last season, he was heading goals in left, right and centre for fun. With the deliveries from Holland, Pennington, Ferrari. Johnson there reads it well, tracked him back, manages to get rid of it, but not quite fully getting rid of the danger, and we're 3-0 down. This could be the tail of the tape. We might be job hunting in the next couple of months if things carry on this way. Harris here with the delivery. Can we get a little bit of pride? We can't. Puts it straight into the goalkeeper's hands. Not ideal. Nambasi into Holland. Gromick into Bruno. He's going to be known as Bruno from now on. Holland. Cut it across. Harris is there. Finally, we get a little bit of pride back. We get one back. For all the home fans that have stayed the 60 minutes, can we go on now? Even if we come out and come back and just draw the game, you know, pick up a point, I'll be happy with that. Johnson getting outpaced there by Seal, but manages to keep him outside. Long ball in from them. I was going to say, if that went in as well, then I'd have been calling up the agents out there in the footballing world and looking for another goalkeeper. Francis linking up with Hugill. Hugill brings it back, cuts it back onto his nice foot, manages to tuck one in. It's 3-2. We've finally decided to wake up. It's only taken us 60 minutes. But finally, we've decided to wake up and go, okay, yeah, let's start playing some football. The gaffer's right. Let's get a bit of pride. Let's not embarrass ourselves here. 67 minutes played. We've got a corner here from Ishmael. What's Ishmael going to do with the delivery? Puts it in a dangerous spot. Malachi rises, but unfortunately headers that right over the crossbar. But 3-2, 70 minutes played. Can we go on and get an equaliser. Let's hope. An equaliser would be nice. Let's go to positive. Let's try and get that equaliser in. See if there's any changes that we can look to make here. I think there's probably going to be a couple of things that we can make because some of the players are going to be absolutely knackered. We're going to bring on Woodward there. He's going to come on. Do I want him there or do I want Jones? No, I'm going to put Jones on there. And then what else are we going to make to change wise? We'll bring on Josh. And we'll bring on Skara. Just to get a little bit of fresh legs out there. It's first game of the season. We don't want to risk too much of fatigue, too much injury risk. And ideally, we want to go on and get a third. But I don't know if we're going to have the time to do it. 85 minutes played here. Short goal kick from them. Let's see if we can just keep the pressure on them and get them to make a mistake. Goal kick comes out. Unfortunately, number 12, Francis, doesn't read it and intercept it like we would have hoped for with that press. I was going to say they were trying an absolute FIFA sweaty goal there, weren't they? Luckily, they were offside. I did see the flagsman raise his flag. The flagsman? The linesman. What am I saying? 4 minutes of added time here. Let's get rid of this and go on the counter-attack. Let's go and get a third. Come on. Don't concede a fourth. Zach Shuai picking up the loose ball. Hugill here into Gromit. Shuaib, Francis, Harris, they're all linking up nicely. But are we going to have a final product? Cameron Ishmael puts the ball in. Harris is there! We get the equaliser! I mean, we're celebrating bringing it back to 3-3. We'll take it. We've salvaged a point. Should we have allowed ourselves to get into a position where we were 3-0 down? Arguably, we shouldn't have been in that position. But I'm proud of the boys to bring it back to 3-3 in that second half. I'm going to say we didn't get the result we wanted. No, I'm not going to say that because I still think we were disappointed. I'm going to say it's disappointing that we didn't win. Considering how they played in the second half, that was proof that we could have we most probably could have won that game. Let's have a look at Kevin Owen, who absolutely destroyed him. I mean, fringe player. Potentially worth 3.9 million. He's a fringe player. I'll take him off your hands. He looks very good. He would be a perfect little partner to partner with Joe Hugill. Maybe we'll keep an eye on him. But there we go. That's what we're going to see today. That result puts us 9th on 1 point so far, which is fine. You know, we'll take the point. If we can pick up early points to start with to build the foundation, I'll be happy with. Remember, we just need, ideally, 50 points is that minimum sort of expectation to keep you in the division. Whether that will this season, who knows? But that's our first goal. We get 50 points. We should be able to stay in the division and we can build on that again next season. But so far, 1 point in the bag, 49 points more to go. But there you go. That's all you're going to see today. Thank you very much for watching. Just like we did last season, we've got the transfer roundup along with the one game. Of course, in the next episode, the plan will be to bring us back to 2 games. What I'm probably going to do is just skip over the first round of the Carabao Cup and then probably bring you back maybe at the end of August, which is our game against Rotherham and then a game against Lincoln. We'll see them back to back. But of course, if anything happens or anything changes before then, I will of course bring you back and let you know. But thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed and I will see you in the next episode. Bye bye.